Welcome to Wisdom-Trek with Gramps. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, and we are on day 2496 of our trek. The purpose of Wisdom-Trek is to create a legacy of wisdom, to seek out discernment and insights, and to boldly grow where few have chosen to grow before. Today is our 29th lesson in our segment of Theology Thursday. Utilizing excerpts from the book titled, I Dare You Not to Bore Me with the Bible, written by Hebrew scholar and the professor, the late Dr. Michael S Heiser, we will invest a couple years going through the entire Bible, exploring short biblical lessons that you may not have received in Bible class or church. The Bible is a wonderful book. Its pages reveal the epic stories of God's redemption of mankind and the long bitter conflict against evil. Yet it is also a book that may seem strange to us at times. Because God's Word was written for us, but it wasn't written necessarily to us. And today's lesson is, he, him, me, myself, and I. How strange it would sound if a friend described what they did this morning like this. Well, after she got out of bed, she took a shower and then made a quick breakfast for herself. Just some coffee and a bagel. I was in such a hurry that I didn't finish my bagel and just took the coffee with me. Well, be honest. You would ponder whether this friend needed some medication or maybe they were on medication. Although your friend that was describing what she did this morning, the first few details sounded like she was talking about somebody else. If this information was about her and spoken by her, why not use I and my, what we call the first person pronoun in grammar? Why would she refer to herself in third person? We just don't talk and write like that. Well, neither would the biblical writers. But that's exactly what we read in many biblical passages. Consider the first 4 verses of the book of Ezekiel. On July 31st of my 13th year, while I was with the Judean exiles beside the Kibar River in Babylon, the heavens were open and I saw a vision of God. This happened during the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity. The Lord gave this message to Ezekiel, son of Buzi, a priest, beside the Kibar River, the land of the Babylonians. And he felt the hand of the Lord take a hold of him. And as I looked, I saw a great storm coming from the north, driving before it a huge cloud that flashed with lightning and shone with brilliant light. There was a fire inside the cloud, and in the middle of the cloud glowed something like gleaming amber. Well, the first 2 verses uses the first person, I, which leads us to believe that Ezekiel himself is writing this. But then it switches to the third person in verse 3. As though the writer was not the famous prophet, to Ezekiel, him. Then it goes back to the first person, I, again in the 4th verse. What's going on? Can't Ezekiel decide if he's writing it or not? There's no multiple personality disorder here. The switch between grammatical persons is simply a telltale sign that there was an editor. Someone other than Ezekiel inserted the verse 3 to make it clear that the prophet wasn't crazy. The prophet saw God and was led by the Spirit to describe what follows in the book. Who had the authority to edit the Bible like this? Well, the short answer is whoever God moved to do so under inspiration. The longer answer is, in the case of the prophetic writings, someone accepted by the believing community of Israel to be a member of the prophetic class or tradition served as an editor of the preaching and teaching of the prophets. The picture of the prophetic class emerges during the time of Elijah and Elisha. The prophets lived together in an organized community. The group was known as the Sons of the Prophets from 2 Kings chapter 2. It included married couples in 2 Kings chapter 4. Such communities began at least as early as the time of Samuel in 1 Samuel chapter 10. The prophetic community of Elijah and Elisha era was large. During that time of Elisha, there was at least 100 prophets hidden by Obadiah from Ahab and Jezebel in 1 Kings chapter 18. During Elisha's period, 50 sons of the prophets, which wasn't even the whole group, were mentioned in 2 Kings chapter 2. The sons of the prophets served God under the leadership of the main prophet, who did most of the public speaking. We have a specific example of this, Barak in Jeremiah chapter 36, Gehazi in 2 Kings chapter 5, and Elisha in 2 Kings chapter 2. Any of the unnamed prophets within the community could have been tasked with gathering the written words of their teacher, their main prophet, and putting them in a scroll or a book. Writing down, organizing, and editing the prophet's words could have occurred entirely after the leading prophet's death, of course under the Spirit's guidance. This process is similar to the way the Gospels were produced. We don't know for sure how it worked, but we do know that more than one hand was responsible for what we have today, and that these people served God in this way without recognition, and that's a lesson that all of us can learn. Now, the lessons that make up Theology Thursday on this Wisdom-Trek podcast for the next couple of years will satisfy the statement, I dare you not to bore me with the Bible. And I trust that you'll enjoy them, and of course, not be bored. If you found this podcast insightful, please subscribe and leave us a review. Then encourage your friends and family to join us and come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom-Trek, creating a legacy. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, and most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom-Trek podcast and journal. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and create a great day every day. See you next time for more daily wisdom.